Hello, everybody. It's Connor Ericstad here, the lovable Texan that you all know and love from Weekly Update Stream. I have a cold, so I sound a bit different, but I am still very much American. There's no Australians here. Nothing at all is different. Welcome to Thursday Update Stream. Connor is out this afternoon on some personal matters, and I am here doing updates for you all. So we'll see how much I mess it up. I guess to kick things off, let's run through business as usual. However you normally do it.
Normally we start with if you have announcements for Herametsu or.
Let's do TNT first. TNT. Look, it's right here. TNT is well underway in the fulfillment phase. If you have been getting your tracking numbers, that's awesome. That makes you much cooler than people that don't have their tracking numbers. I have a selection. I grabbed a selection of some of the stuff because I don't know if Connor's showed this off on stream yet. I think it's been a few weeks since we've done update stream. So I grabbed a few things. If you're waiting on stuff to ship, Doug and I just did a quick check. It looks like currently we're about halfway through shipping everything based on how many books we have left to ship. Right now we have the tier 2s and tier 3s shipping. I believe all of the tier 1s should have gone out. If there's any that haven't, it's probably because they're waiting on one or two small things. So TNT is well underway. I know some people have been getting their books already, which is cool. And we got the sweet new token deck. Oh, look at that. Look at that camera change. If you backed TNT, then you're going to be receiving some of these really awesome products. I'm not going to open this because I stole this from Talon. He was about to ship this to someone, so maybe I'll give it a little kiss. Someone will receive that. The token sheets, which actually, all right, this is the one thing the factory did get wrong, which was a little frustrating, but it didn't really affect the print quality, is all of these were supposed to be packed together as one thing, and they packed them individually. So we really hate the environment, and we want to really max out our single-use plastics. It was a bit unfortunate, but we're going through and kind of putting it together. But yeah, these tokens turned out great. I know there's a bit of glare, but I just wanted to kind of show them off. Basically, it's a huge pack. You've got tokens for all of the different environmental stuff and some of the scenario specific things, and it's should be pretty handy for some of you TNT old school bros that have been playing it for a long time. You probably didn't need those, but when we were kind of teeing up the design of the product range, I was sort of like what's the kind of thing that would prevent someone getting it on the table? And this is the kind of thing that really helps to speed that up. And then there's the regular token pack too, which looks really cool. So honestly, I'm really happy with how the quality of these came out. The factory did an amazing job. And then of course, here's the book, which looks great. We've kind of showed this off already, but full color, amazing. Look at all this cool stuff in here. So yeah, we're really thrilled. I know Joey was really happy with it. I gave him his kind of sample at Adepticon, and he was really buzzed about that. So I'm really excited that you're all getting new copies. We've at this point just about wrapped up the final miniature production. I believe, I can be corrected, we're probably a few days, probably mid next week, that's going to wrap up. But shipping is kind of well ahead of that, so we're kind of just going in and moving in behind Talon. So yeah, TNT is shaping up really well. If you're getting your books, one thing that really helps is just post about it, post it on your Instagram, whatever Facebook groups you're in. The book is still available for late pre-order. If people want to get it, they can get a copy. We have PDFs available, all that kind of stuff, and it kind of just really helps get the buzz going that fulfillment is happening. So yeah, pretty awesome. Let's move on to Herametsu, is the other big one. So some other big news with Herametsu. The Ryu and the Rain books arrived at the same time that this one did. They were in the same shipment. I believe we are. I think the terrain production for that launch might be finished. Doug can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Miniatures are going to be beginning production here in a few days, and then that'll kind of continue probably over the next quite a few weeks because there's a lot of kappa we need to make. Terrain is done, Doug said, so that's good. We have the Ryu and the Rain books in. The Musashi booklets, which were printed here in the States, those shipped yesterday, so we should have those, I would say, by Tuesday or Wednesday next week, depending on where they're coming from. So once we have those, then we just make the minis, and once the minis start coming in, then those Herametsu orders will start shipping. So very close to getting those done, which is really cool. So I really appreciate everyone's patience on that. I know it's taken us a lot longer to get that done, but I think the final quality of the book, both books actually, is definitely worth the wait. They look really good. So I noticed there's a question about when do we expect to open up the new Herametsu stuff. So once fulfillment is either getting to the very, very tail end or is finished, that's when we'll start to accept like new orders. I can't give you an exact time frame on that. I would imagine sometime towards late June, probably. Maybe very early July, but we'll kind of see how that time frame moves around. So yeah, some really good Herametsu news, which is awesome. What do we got next? Let's talk about DLB next. This one will be a quick one. GameFound is underway. I posted an update on the GameFound the other day. Our initial plan that we outlined in the April update of kind of putting that on, I guess, financial hold for 1 month. And what I mean by that is we opted to not send any additional funds to the factory in China while the tariff situation, I guess, rights itself, hopefully, or settles. As I'm sure anyone who's paying attention to the news, the tariffs did reduce to 30%. That is only for 90 days, though, so there is still a really large risk factor. But we're going to reassess in early June. As we said, we're going to talk to the factory and kind of see what other options we might have. We have not been doing nothing, though. So the factory did get an initial small payment, and they've been moving through like the pre-production process on the miniatures. It's kind of like a multi-step process, and they've completed the red wax stage, and then they use those masters to then start building the molds. Once we get those done, then we'll kind of get the initial PVC samples. And I don't have an exact time frame on that, but they're kind of in the PVC sample stage at this point. I imagine that's going to take multiple weeks to get through, but things are still happening, so we'll keep you updated on that. Kind of as we said when we spoke about the tariff situation, I'll kind of reiterate this a little bit. There's really not a whole lot we can do about that. I'm not the president of the United States, and I'm not a billionaire, so I can't affect change in any meaningful way. All I can do is make sure that the money that we took from people is being responsibly used, and if it's not being used, it's being kept safe. So that's kind of what we're doing for now. And then behind the scenes, we're just still kind of working on what we can work on. Next big one, Luna. Look at these. You want to move your camera, Mr. Media Matt? Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Look at this plastic frame. Let me sniff it. Ooh, yeah. That smells like plastic made from dinosaurs. These came in the other day. There's a bit of scuff, actually. I'm not going to throw the factory under the bus here. But they shipped quite a few weeks ago, and they just, like, sat in Poland. And we were like, this is strange. Like, because it was like, it wasn't next day shipping, but it was like a couple of days shipping. And then, so we were like, let's give it a week. And then like a week went by, and then I think it was like a week and a half. And then it was some scuff with the tariffs. They had to like do new types of paperwork or something. But they're here now, which is great. So The mold has been made. The mold is complete, and this is like we got 6 test sprues, and they look great. They look really good. What we're doing right now is going through and basically building as many astronauts as we can, and just making sure that all the parts go together, they all fit. It's kind of weird seeing the plastics in person, uh, just because we made them and they're ours. I'm so used to buying plastics from other people and being like, oh, I wish we could do plastics. And we did, and they look great. I built a bunch of, Connor built a couple the other day, and then I built a bunch this morning, and then I had Doug build a bunch of Soviet dudes. And yeah, they're looking really good. They honestly, the detail is really much better than I thought it would be. You can cut back to me. Um, the detail is much better than I thought it would be. And that's not like, I'm not throwing shade at the company or anything, but just like plastics by nature don't have as much detail. But when I was like looking over the parts, like the detail really is very good. Like, and I've never sculpted plastics before. This is literally the first plastic kit I ever sculpted. Um, I didn't do the engineering. They took my sculpts and then made any of the adjustments that they need, but I still had to like design it. So it's a pretty big learning curve for me, and Connor as well. I mean, we kind of did it together in some ways. And for my first shot at it, pretty good. I think not too bad. I'd give myself like a 7.5 out of 10, I think. So yeah, basically this is the sprue. There's kind of a US side and a USSR side, but it's all one kit essentially. We don't quite know down the line how we want to split these up. If we do want to split them up, we'd like to do additional plastics down the line. So we may opt to like add on a weapon sprue and then split them up or something. We'll see. Initially though, this is just for the core starter box to kind of make that a much better product and make it a much easier price point for people to get into. That person literally just said what Connor did this morning in our office. We literally framed one of these in our office, which is really funny that you say that. We have like this shadow box that we keep one of the lunar hammers in, and he like pulled the hammer out and put one of these in. Honestly, this is a pretty big thing for us. Like a company of our size being able to do plastics this is like a dream for Connor and I. So, big shout out to everyone who pre-ordered these. These are still available, by the way. If you want to late pre-order the plastics, you can get in on them. If you do like sci-fi and stuff, Doug was putting some together and he was like talking about all the different random things you can do with them. I mean, it's just a pretty unique kit. So, where this kind of goes from here in terms of ETA, we really need to just make sure we test and fit everything. I have a sprue at home, so over the weekend we're going to kind of keep testing, and then the plan is probably like Monday we'll kind of give our final, hopefully, seal of approval. We haven't noticed any errors at this point, but it's always good just to like double, triple check before they make like 2,000 of them. And then they'll go into mass production and ship out hopefully before the 90-day tariff deadline ends. And then we have to pay a lot more money, but we'll see. Again, I'm not the president. It's out of my control. So that's Luna. Let's do Avalon Rising next. I am the Avalon Rising man, so I can speak with authority. It's coming along pretty well. I got a lot of writing done the past 3 weeks. Basically, I'm taking some of the original stuff, tweaking it based on some of the playtesting that we've done, and some of the additional, like, I guess, development thoughts I had since I did the Kickstarter. Mr. Matt Burns is writing one of the small little zine scenarios, so he's been working at that. And the plan is that the pledge manager is still open, so if you backed Avalon Rising, you can update your pledge, adjust it, whatever you kind of want to do. You can add the STLs, you can add the GM screen. Someone asked a really good question the other day on the Kickstarter. Is our timeline still valid? Will there be any delays? All that kind of stuff. The books should be fine. We don't know how the rest of the products are affected by the current tariffs and situation. The biggest problem that we're going to run into with Avalon Rising is that everyone is rushing to ship product from China right now, not just in the board game industry, but across the board, because there's like a 90-day cooling to where the tariffs are only 30%. So for the books, it's fine, but for the token sheets and other things that we were planning, the GM screen is another one, excuse me. Those are tariffed, right? So whether or not the delivery date slips, it's probably not going to slip by much, if at all. I mean, the timeline that we have right now is still holding, and that's to fulfill in September. I don't anticipate any major delays. The factory that prints our books and tokens is going to be doing all of that for us. But as soon as I have any more information, I'll let you know. We're still planning to get the book and all of that off to the printer right when we were planning to. So the biggest thing that could mess with it is if like the shipping lead times get crazy, because there's just like, basically there's so much shipping happening right now that it might be tricky for stuff to get on a ship and get over to us. But we can always ship it air. There's a lot of other things. So we're on the case on that, so to speak. But that's Avalon Rising. If you backed it and you haven't been reading the updates, you should go back and check them, because I upload a nice piece of artwork every month, and I enjoy doing that. So this month's update was like a cool little kitchen scene. What's next? What do we got next? Probably general updates, right? I think general updates. This is going to be the big thing for today. Couple of big important announcements. The first one is that tomorrow we will be launching a last chance page of MDF products. We have gone through our entire range of MDF, and we've identified not an insignificant amount of kits. It's not going to be a huge amount, but it's still a decent chunk of ones that don't sell. They just don't sell. They don't sell when we put them on sale for Black Friday. They don't sell when they're in stock. And we've decided to last chance them. So this will be the last chance to buy these kits. I can't tell you right now what they are. Doug is working away at putting that together. But the last chance will probably run for a few weeks. They're not going to be on sale. They're going to be full price. And it'll really just be a case of like, we felt that it was fair just to give people one last chance to buy them before we like got rid of them. It is going to be a case of once we take them off the store, I'm going to get 100 emails from people being like, hey, where's this kit? You know, so really it's just a case of we're trying to like put our production where the popular stuff is, because it moves in better volume, and some of these kits are older. They're not really very optimized. They don't sell. They don't fit with the games that we make. They don't fit with the kind of games that people are playing. One really great example is, since when we started the company to now, people's tastes with terrain have kind of changed a bit, and 3D printing has become a lot more popular. So naturally, like, things will sell in different volumes, and some ranges will be less popular. So the World War II is a really, really good example of that. When we first launched that, it was one of our bread and butter ranges. We sold a lot of it. Now, when it's in stock, there was some kits that sat there for over a year, and they just didn't sell. And that's okay. You know, it just is the way it is. So really it's just a case of like, you know, we've made some choices and that's kind of how it'll be. So not everything that is last chance will be up tomorrow. It'll probably be from tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Thursday today. Yeah. So it'll probably be Friday and then like Monday, Tuesday next week. But initially, they're not going to be like limited. We're not going to do any like FOMO stuff where it's like 20 left ever. Ugh, get them now. You'll have a little bit of time. But if there's like one kit that you've wanted, now's your chance. The last chance stuff is going to go to the back of our production queue though. So if you want it, you are going to have to wait a little bit longer for it because we're going to take a little bit of time for those orders to come through. And so, you know, when we kind of close them out, we're like, right, we got to make 20 of this kit, 15 of that one, 30 of the, 6 of this, 2 of this. So it'll be much easier for Doug and Travis to kind of nail down the numbers. In addition, we are going to be opening up back orders on some of the other MDF ranges as well. So it won't just be the last chance stuff. It'll be some of the regular ranges because we're pretty caught up on that. So we can kind of start to take some additional orders and it'll be a good chance to, if you're planning for some games like starting to get into the summer, then we can hopefully get those kits to you. So that's the big update for that. I'm sorry to say that some kits will be going, but it has to be done. None of you bought them anyway, so it's actually all your fault. How about that? The next big news, on much happier news. Next Friday, we are launching a brand new game. That's Whispers of the Deep is going live next Friday. And if you go to the homepage and click on the banner that is on the main homepage, there is a really cool little page now where I've put some information about the game. There is some cool little renders, and you kind of got a bit of an idea of what's coming. So little over 7 days away. What is Whispers of the Deep, you might ask? Well, it's a little fantasy skirmish game that I've been working away at. You've probably been seeing a lot of the previews on our Instagram. I've been posting a lot of like in progress stuff. You've seen a lot of the sculpts. It's a small miniature count. It's like between 2 and 3 models per side. You have what's called a Delver, who is your main character. And then you have these other things called hired fellows, which fulfill various different roles. And the hook of the game is you're going into this sunken city to hunt for fancy treasure. It's kind of a little treasure hunting game. It's player versus element. So it'll be like you and me playing a game, and then on the table there are these spirits that are inhabiting the city. And as you create more noise and more chaos, the danger level rises and more spirits will come on and they might move around the table and you have to kind of fight them, but also fight an enemy as well. You'll hunt for treasure. Actually I can show you something kind of cool.
I also got the mock-ups if you want me to cut to that.
Yeah, you can cut to that. The mock-ups of the book.
Yeah, the stuff we showed.
You can show that. Oh yeah, look at that. Cool. Yeah, so that's Whispers of the Deep. That's coming next Friday. It's launching next Friday morning. And I'm really excited. I've been working away at that for quite a little while. I was really excited to kind of get it launched. It's a very small and scoped in game, and I'm going to kind of explain some of our new rationale here in a little minute. But let me show you these tokens. Let me show you these sweet little tokens. So one of the cool things about the game is that it has a stash mechanic where you use these little token pieces. Every item in the game, whether it's a weapon or a piece of treasure, has an associated token with it. These are prototypes. The final versions will not be in MDF, so please do not get all excited. We visited a company the other day and they ran some samples using a printer that I was like, oh, let me just have you do these. But in order to keep the costs down and make the barrier of entry for people a little bit easier, we're most likely going to do cardboard. Unless, hey, look, unless you guys buy a ton of Whispers of the Deep, and I can go out and buy a UV printer and we can print the tokens in-house. But we have to be realistic about stuff like that. So the idea is, this is kind of how you build your army lists, is you have your characters, and then you have your items, and then you kind of have to like Tetris them in your stash. So you gotta like fit them in, and these are the most straightforward shapes. There's some that are like T shapes and L shapes and stuff, and the more powerful the item, the more space it takes up, essentially. And it's a really fun and tactile part of the game that I was a little unsure about when I was developing it, but once Connor and Doug and I started playing with it, we really enjoyed it. It's like kind of fun to build out this way. And one of the things is these will probably also just be available as like free PDFs as well, if people want to just like, you know, print them and cut them out. So Whispers of the Deep, it will be a small little hardback book. So little hardback book, little token sheets. That's coming next Friday. We'll be probably dropping some prices and things like that early next week. There is a bunch of sculpts that are going to be coming. I've got like a lot of sculpts on the go right now for this game. Pretty much day one, you'll be able to download the STLs. I am really trying to put together a day one quick start version that if you pre-order the game, you'll also be able to get a little quick start. I'm not sure if we'll have that done in time. We have the editor working on the main document right now, but we'll see what we can do. I really just want to like get it in people's hands so they can be playing it and all that kind of stuff, because I'm really excited about it. It's been a passion project of mine, so I'm really excited to launch it. And Matt Burns, Mr. Don't Look Back himself, is going to be writing, well, he has written the campaign rules for it. So I kind of wrote all the core stuff, and then I asked Matt, I was like, do you want to write the like campaign linked play stuff? And he was like, hell yeah, I do. So he wrote that up. So it's really cool. So you can take a Delver and your hired fellows, and you can kind of advance them and hunt for. The idea is your Delver is a vessel that is inhabited by a spirit, and that spirit's trying to hunt specific gems to help kind of grow its power. So it's it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. It is technically it is solo friendly. I would really like to write a solo narrative campaign for it. The way the game plays, the nature of it being like player versus element, it's very solo playable, but the core of the game is still player versus player. But it's written in a way that we can add a solo element to it quite easily. I just don't know if I'll make that like a backroom goal or not. I think if I do, I'd prefer to just like put it out as a free PDF or something eventually. But that's kind of one of my hopes. So if you've been seeing all the random weird, Ghibli-esque stuff that we've been dropping, you can go to the website and check out the page. I've put some information about the game, some breakdowns, and this will lead me into my next point, which is, will it have physical miniatures or not? We had a long meeting this morning about this, Connor, Doug, and myself. And we are in a bit of an awkward spot right now, where we make minis in-house, but it is low-run manufacturing. We do enough to keep up with production. As you know, we've swapped to 3D printing as our main source of like physical production. We have plastics on the way. We did the GameFound campaign for Don't Look Back. Those were PVC. But we're kind of shifting our focus away from producing bulk, like large quantities of minis in-house. For games like Whispers of the Deep, the focus is going to be on a new type of product that we're going to be calling a permapack. Now, that is essentially the core for the game is going to have the hardback book, and there's going to be a core miniatures bundle and a core terrain bundle. Now, every time I add new sculpts to it, I'm just going to put those in those products. So if you buy that product next Friday for whatever the price is, over time, it'll be added to. And then eventually, if at some point we decide that, there's $300 worth of product in here, then we may cut that one off and start a new one. But the idea is we're viewing this as a way for some of these smaller niche games to still get a bit of support and also not bloat our SKUs to where it's oh man, we've got, 85 individual miniatures and 85 individual STLs. It's a little bit easier. Someone just oh, I got minis at home, I'm just going to buy the book. I have a 3D printer, I'm just going to buy this miniatures bundle. Now, where does that kind of leave physical minis? We're in a bit of an odd situation because there's still a lot of people that don't have any interest in 3D printing, but we can't always make physical minis at this point. And the tariff situation makes that even harder for us. So what we will most likely do for Whispers of the Deep is we will have, during the backroom, a print-on-demand option just for the minis. The terrain, obviously, we can't print that on demand. That ain't going to happen. But the minis themselves and that'll just be for the backroom. So if you want the physicals, you're going to have to get in on the backroom. And after that, it'll be a digital only. Until which time we decide that we have the ability to farm out production. If the game gets popular enough, maybe we can do some plastics or do something that's a bit more volume friendly. So that will also most likely apply for We Played God as well. I'm getting really good at segueing today, Matt. I'm oh yeah, let me go into this point. So, Whispers of the Deep, that is coming out on next Friday morning. Matt and I shot some B-roll today for a little gameplay video. It's not going to be a how to play, but it's just going to be a little narrative overview that'll talk a little bit about the game. It's a little promo video, yeah. And then once I have enough painted minis in, Connor and I will probably do a little gameplay stream one day, or we may film a full gameplay video. But the idea is, because I wrote the game, I'll probably have as much information about all the mechanics and stuff. It's very mechanically simple. I can tell you right now, it uses D8s, and you have two stats, brains and brawn. You have an extra stat, which is armor, but it's very simple. I have an obsession with very simple stat lines in games. If you've played any of the zines that I've written, it's 2 or 3. That's it. I just like it. That's the way I design games. So it's just a very fun little whimsical game. So I'm really pumped. I hope you are pumped too. Dinosaurs. Before we wrap things up, we launched the GameFound preview page for We Played God. So that is another Black Site internal project, but it's being headed up by Doug, who wrote Herametsu, but he's kind of leading the development on We Played God. It is a solo co-op dinosaur survival horror game. What a mouthful of words that I had to put through. It is a lot of fun. I've played a bunch of games of this right now, and there's been a lot of playtesters. Shout out to the playtesters, by the way, that have just been playing games constantly, and it's a lot of fun. If you like things like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, some classic horror monster stuff, this is probably gonna scratch that itch for you. Maybe some post-apocalyptic survival stuff too. We made the decision that we wanted to try launching this on GameFound because this is something we would normally just do as a backroom launch and kind of just make it. We would just make it and that would really be a pre-order. But we wanted to try for once, would this reach a wider audience? Would we sell more books? Would it maybe get more exposure by being on a platform like GameFound? and it's a bit of an experiment, but also we're doing it in our own way. Like, it's about as tariff proof as we can possibly make it. Let me just say that right now. Like, it's pretty scoped in, just like Whispers of the Deep, where like we know the stuff that we have to produce in China will be like books and a token sheet. Or like, for example, for We Play God, it's just a book, maybe a token sheet, small like action tokens. So we're being really careful about kind of where we're going for the rest of this year. We had to completely shuffle around like our entire release schedule. We had to delay a bunch of games. We had to kind of just like kick everything to after the summer, and so we moved these like to the beginning of the schedule. And I think that the initial response to We Played God has been really positive. Like, once we started putting it out in the Discord, I kept saying to Doug, I was like, people are really digging this, man. Like, we should maybe try and see if we can, crowdfund this. So what that's going to look like is probably a little bit similar to what I said with Whispers of the Deep, where the book will be available physically and as a PDF. We will have a bundle of survivors. I think there's 8 types of survivors in the game. And then there are, I think, around 15 dinosaur types. Now, the way Doug's written the dinosaurs is they're somewhat, I don't want to say generically named, but they almost have like archetype names. It's not like this is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's more like this is this type of dinosaur. And they kind of have like nicknames. So he did that in a way that it means like, oh, if you don't have the exact type of dinosaur, it doesn't quite matter that much, as long as it fits like somewhat the size and the base size and all that kind of stuff. The dinosaurs provide a little bit of a challenge for us to make physically, because some of them are quite large. Like the Spinosaurus is like on a 60mm base, and it's a big guy. Malev actually printed one to paint for us the other day, and he was like, this is big. So really what we're looking at, if you want physical versions of those, you're going to have to, the only chance to get those will be during the campaign. After that, we're not going to make any commitment to making them physically after that point. Unless, of course, like I said, down the line, like we can produce them in plastic or some other type of material that is cost effective for us. We are most likely going to have unlocks and things like that. This is the big thing that I just want to say. If you want to buy the physical print-on-demand stuff, it's going to have a bit of a higher price tag than normal because of the cost of the resin increasing. And we just really need to make sure that, like, for the physical stuff, all of our overheads, which are going up every day, it seems like, are covered. So, we had a long chat today, and it's kind of, if someone wants miniatures, their best bet is probably just going to be to get the STLs and then, ask a friend to print them or figure something out like that. But we do want to have physicals for the people that just 100% need them. They don't want to print. They just want to buy some minis. But they will be printed. We're just going to print them. So there's still a bit of stuff we need to figure out. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. So will we be hosting sizing of the models in the campaign? So a lot of them are going to be like person size, 35mm. Some of the smaller dinosaurs, if you can print a 35mm model, you'll be able to print this. Some of the bigger dinosaurs, Connor might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but like even the I think it's a Spinosaurus. I don't even remember what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it. I'm pretty sure that can be printed on our 8K, our frozen 8K. So they're big, but they're not that big that you're going to need like a big printer. And we can always split them up too. Like a dinosaur, like I could chop the tail off. I could, there's ways to do that. But we are also really trying to look at a similar type of permapack form factor for for like this type of game going forward, because like if we add more dinosaurs, we can just keep adding it to this same pack. It's not going to be a subscription thing. It's not a subscription model thing. Think of it like a Steam early access, where I bought this game 3 years ago for $14.99, and now it's at the final version and it's $39.99. That kind of thing. And we kind of just want to try it and see how it works. And we're kind of keen on feedback from all of you folks for sure. But it's really just to combat a bit of SKU bloat and keep things pretty. If someone's like, what do I need to play Whispers of the Deep? I have a 3D printer. It's like, hey, buy the book, buy this STL pack. Oh, you already have terrain? You don't need the terrain one. Like, you're good to go, So that's kind of where we're at. The initial bundles will be priced for like what's in the bundle. So initially you'll feel like it'll have value for sure. So, just wait. Speaking of Steam, just wait till we start doing like gambling related stuff. You have to open treasure chests to like play your games. That's gonna be crazy. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I've kind of ran through everything. A bit of a big update stream, a lot going on. We really appreciate everyone who stopped by to listen to it. To recap, lots of fulfillment. If you pre-ordered TNT, we should be finished with TNT over the next 2 weeks. I would imagine by next Friday, the bulk of it should be done, but I would imagine there's be still a few stragglers. Talon is shipping as much as he can every day. So big shout outs to Talon. He's doing a really good job. With Herametsu, we'll probably put out like a more like solid announcement, but if you have moved or if you have to update your address, it's kind of your responsibility to keep your address up to date with us. We are putting labels on TNT packages and we're holding them for 24 hours because once people get that announcement, they're like rushing to be like, I actually moved 3 months ago and I'm not going to be able to get it. Our official policy, just to be super blunt with you, is if you don't update your address, we don't know. We ship it to the one you gave us, and that's kind of all we can do. However, if you just, all it is just shoot us an email, say, hey, I moved, here's my new address, we'll update it for you. It's super easy. It takes Doug like 2 seconds. It's really easy. If the package hasn't gone out and we still have it on the pallet, we also can like pull it off and change it, but if it's been scanned in, it's kind of out of our hands, unfortunately. We're going to just wait for it to come back to us or, figure something else out. So fortunately, it's a pretty infrequent thing. A lot of people have been emailing us and we've been catching them beforehand, but we've been doing the best we can. I guess the last thing I didn't talk about was the Fat Turkey bundle. We are getting very close on those. The last couple of things is my Titanic RPG, which the editor just got done with that. And look, I'm just going to be super honest, all right? It's kind of my bad. I did write it as a full RPG. I'm getting some quotes to actually print them in hardback. I don't know. We'll see. See what the costings are like. That's probably going to go off to the printer like within the next 4 days. So we should have that pretty soon. I'm sorry that that's taken a lot longer than we thought, but it is like a whole bunch of different elements, and some of them are going to be pretty cool. So it's definitely worth it. I posted a piece of artwork in the Black site. We have a writers Discord just for all the writers where we just post like random work in progress stuff. It's like a full game. It's like a full little RPG that you can play. It's like a little rules light D6 RPG. It's pretty fun. So I think it's definitely gonna be worth the wait. But other than that, Titanic RPG, the final Lunar stuff, it's getting very close. So I'm really hoping that June timeframe is when we're going to be looking at that. So shout out to all the patient friends that have been waiting on that. But it's going to be worth it. It's gonna be a ton of really interesting, cool stuff. I think that kind of wraps it up. There was any updates on restocking? Don't Look Back. Don't Look Back has like 100 products. Is there anything specific that you were asking about? I believe the core stuff should be in stock. Should correct me if I'm wrong. If not, I think they're making those currently. If we're out of stock of the core killer and the core hero VHS. Okay, so restock pack killers, most of MDF. Could be the let's see. Let's look on the website just to be thorough. That person's probably stepped away from that. Oh, like the starter pack. Is that out of stock right now? Let's look. Core Killer. Core Killer. Oh, yeah. That one's showing as being out of stock. I am pretty sure that we have those. Yeah, they're on the printers right now. I would imagine those would be back in stock within the next week or so. It'll just depend on how busy the rest of the staff is. Yeah. We did a big digital rollout. We've been rolling out all of the Luna stuff digitally, and I started rolling out DLB stuff digitally. There's one caveat to this. Not everything is going to be put up digitally. Now, there's some people asking about the Kangaroo Lander, and we still got to sell some stuff physical only. I'm sorry, but that's a me thing. There's some products, like we have a whole warehouse, it's production. We still got to have some type of physical production going on. So there's some things that we'll probably keep for physical. But anything that we really don't have much interest in selling physically anymore, a lot of the older minis, ranges, all that kind of stuff, those will most likely become digital. I have been working my way through those as quickly as I can. I did underestimate how much work it is to do the digitals, because, so in the case of the Luna ones, I have to take the STLs and then I have to kind of compute them, because a lot of them were done for resin. So I have to merge them together. I have to export them, compress them, then I have to support them. And then I have to do all of the printed stuff. So I have to take all the cards, have to check those, put those onto the sheets. It's actually a lot of work, and a lot more than I realized. But I've typically been trying to do it like a little bit each morning. But that'll probably be paused for the next 2 weeks while we work on some other stuff. And then hopefully I'll pick it back up. If I could have an extra version of me for like 2 days a week, that'd be great. Because then I could give myself extra tasks, and then I could do the stuff I want to do, which is more artwork for Whispers of the Deep and more dinosaurs and stuff like that. So, yeah. Could you release unsupported first and support later? Supporting the minis doesn't take me very long, honestly. It's just like when I put everything together, it's like 7 or 8 steps I have to go through to like get the final thing. So it's just doing one product digitally doesn't take me that long. But if I spread that out over like for DLB, the amount of SKUs DLB has is it gets kind of crazy time wise. So, and I'd go mad if I sat there and tried to do that all day. So yeah, anyway. All right, almost an hour-long update, so that's pretty good. I hope that you enjoyed some Ben time instead of stinky old Connor time. It's been a pleasure. I hope that next week is a great week for you. And Whispers of the Deep, next Friday, the 30th. Make sure you're there if you want this special treasure. I need to make a special pre-order mini for that. Oh, speaking of special minis, go and follow the We Played God pre-launch page. If you do, you get a free mini. You literally get a free mini. So, yeah. Do we celebrate Memorial Day in Texas? Oh yeah, it's Memorial Day on Monday. I don't know if that's a black site holiday day. I think it might be. I don't take any days off. I work every day.
Someone earlier was asking if there was a sale on Memorial Day.
Not this year, no. No. We did a summer sale last year, and we'll probably do some type of summer sale this year, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe instead for the summer sale, you have to pay more for that week. All the prices go up by 20%. And then we take all the money and then we buy a ship as like a blockade runner, like a tariff blockade runner. And then we just like take that ship back and forward between China and America and just like, you know, commit a lot of crime. That's a joke. I'm 100% joking. I'm talking about a video game. All right. Before the FBI comes for me, it's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to go back to work and keep sculpting stuff. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Goodbye, everyone.